It's time for a review. Let's get to it. Oh, also subscribe. Welcome back to Gadget Conquest, and today we are doing a review on something we did an unboxing on last week. The Galaxy Z Fold 3. Yeah, that's what it's called. I don't know why the Z is there. Anyway, this device I have been using for the past week, and I'm ready to talk about some of the ups and downs of owning this thing. First, down. It's $1,800. Just get that out of the way. This is not a device for the common mortal. You need money to use this. Anyway, with the price issue out of the way, I mean, this thing is obviously going to be expensive. I mean, it's got a giant folding screen. It's got an entire second screen. It's going to be like that. The second screen I used a lot in this past week. It's big, it's vibrant, it's thin. I actually really like how thin it is. And by thin, I don't mean like, obviously I don't mean like the Z, I mean the X here, like it's skinny. And it just fits really well in my hand. I praised how well it fit in my hand during my unboxing, but during this past week, I have been in love with how it fits in my hand. I've been using it primarily as a Game Boy emulator, and yeah, in the open state, having this thing in the open state and just playing Pokemon, which I've been doing lately, just look how beautiful that is. Just having the giant screen there, having my controls down here, it fits beautifully in my hand. I really have to praise Samsung on just the overall, like, hand fit. Just when it's folded and when it's open, it fits really well in my hand, and my hands don't block the speakers. Now, what's interesting about that is when I flip it this way, or when I turn it this way, because there's a lot of content that actually gets consumed with it sideways, it does have dual speakers. It's stereo sound. It is stereo sound. And because I don't hold it with my hands flat against that, because I'm not a lunatic, it actually bounces the sound like really well into my palms, and it comes back and it hits me, and it sounds great. I love the way this thing sounds. It's just phenomenal. The display is beautiful. The inside display is also beautiful. Obviously, you know, the inside display not being made out of glass, you have to be extra careful with it. But this past week, I actually like the feel of the inside display more than glass. I actually really, really like the soft plastic. It's a little bit more, it feels almost more oily. I have this issue where my fingers get really, really dry, and the glass displays on phones will occasionally feel dry. Like it kind of hurts my fingers. So the inside display on this thing, I don't get that feeling at all, and I'm actually really looking forward to using the Flip because the inside display is also going to be that same material. So I'm really interested in that. The fingerprint sensor works well. I do get accidental touches on it all the time on the fingerprint sensor, especially when I open the device. When I have the device open, the side of my index finger kind of rests on the fingerprint sensor, and I get accidental touches on it all the time, which isn't that big a deal. It's just that when I first open it and it's not unlocked, I get that fingerprint doesn't match, because most of the time I actually rely on the face unlock because it works very, very well. The inside camera is an under display camera, and I remember talking about how it is very noticeable, and it still is. Like, it's still, when you're looking for it, it's obviously there. Like, it's you can't hide that thing. However, in this past week, I have grown accustomed to it, and it actually just kind of, especially when you're in sort of not this mode, but like this, when you have it like this, that underscreen camera just kind of fades away into the background. You don't even notice the like very loosely packed pixels there, simply because of the fact that you're so immersed in the content that just the fact that that spot is the correct color kind of makes it just blend in, because that's the big thing about the hole punch cameras and the notches, is that the content will go over it a lot of the times and just be the incorrect color. Like, I play a lot of those like idle games where you just have to click buttons and whatnot. And a lot of the time those idle games don't even use that part of the display, but they do make that part of the display a certain color. They make it fade into the background, and usually it's like a yellow or something like that, and it does fade in very well. A lot of the times I forget that I'm holding it sideways. I think that I'm holding it like this, and I'm looking up here for the hole, and I'm like, where is the camera? I don't see it anywhere. And then it just kind of like appears on the left. I'm like, oh, right, it's over here, there it is. And I just kind of like forget about it and lose it, and that's honestly a great feeling to have. The crease is a crease. It's always there. Sometimes it's very visible, like right now in sunlight, not in sunlight, sorry. In direct light like this, I can very clearly see the crease, and I can feel it. It's obviously there. I don't care about it. It blends in, okay. It blends in to the background. It doesn't bother me in the least. I can see how it bothers some people, especially at first. However, especially in times where you don't have direct light, for example, like when you're laying in bed. So you're laying in bed, you're flipping through some TikToks. I've been doing it a lot lately. Or you're watching a video. I've been watching videos in bed as well. The crease isn't there. It completely disappears. The screen is bright enough and the area is dark enough that the crease just is gone, and the content doesn't look warped in that spot when you're not paying attention to it. You know, when you're just absorbed in what you're doing and not the crease itself, it's really easy to forget about it, if that makes sense. Just like a lot of people forget about the notch. The difference here is that the crease does not cut away my content, and that's what makes it easy to forget about. I still have my content, and that is always going to be infinitely better. In my opinion, the crease is always going to be infinitely better to deal with than a notch or a hole punch, because my content is still there. That's what I care about the most. Now, I've said a lot of good things. Let's get to some complaints, all right? So I actually don't have that many complaints. I only have a few, all right? So complaint number one is the camera system. The cameras are great. There's nothing wrong with them. The problem is we need, as a society, to get phone manufacturers to stop doing camera bumps, just altogether. Like, make the phone fatter, please. I don't care anymore. Make it fatter. I'm tired of this wobbly nightmare. The phone is actually really annoying to use when it's just flat on a table, because it wobbles like it's nobody's freaking business. And even when it's open, if you use this side of the display, it's fine. If you use this side of the display, it's so annoying. I can't tell you how much I hate it, especially because when it's open, I think I use this phone open, like sitting down, more than I've ever used any other phone, period. And having it's like That sound just like drains the soul out of me. All right, moving on. So that's complaint number 1. Complaint number 2, and this is my biggest complaint really, is the wireless charging on this thing is slow as molasses. I get it. I do, okay? Samsung, I understand. You have to fit an entire wireless coil right here. This is not the width of a regular phone. It is significantly less wide, which means you have to place a smaller coil in it. I understand. That makes sense. However, it's too slow. It's ungodly slow. Oh my God, the wireless charging is so slow. It's really bad. I even went out of my way to buy a new fast wireless charger from Samsung, and it's just so slow. It charges it, yes, but plugging it in, this thing charges phenomenally fast. I went from like 30% battery to 100% battery in less than an hour, and it was just beautiful. It would take like 3 hours to do that wirelessly. Oh, the wireless charging sucks. It's not good. It's not good. It's really slow. Also, because of the location of the coil, so they put the coil like sort of closer to the middle here. Because of the location of the coil, can you guess what I'm about to say? The camera bump gets in the way. So when you put it on the wireless charging mat, it doesn't sit perfectly flush against it. It has kind of a, like a, eh. And because it doesn't sit perfectly flush against it, it bothers me. It triggers my OCD. So I immediately try to move it up a little bit so that it does sit perfectly flush. Guess what? Doesn't charge when you have it like that because the coil is up here. So it's one of those things where you have to have it be in this OCD triggering, really annoying position in order to charge it. And yes, I'm being petty right now, but I just don't like it, okay? I just don't. Okay. Back to what I was... Woosah. All right, back to what I was saying. Wireless charging is just really slow, all right? Also, like, they really could have put a headphone jack on this thing, right? It's really wide. There's plenty of space. They put a crap ton of microphones on it. Like, there's like 3 microphones. Sorry, 4 microphones. It's got an array of microphones. They could have put a friggin' headphone jack. Also, at $2,000, it should have came with a charger. It just came with a cable. That's really annoying as well. There's no excuse for that, obviously, other than just Apple is awful and everybody should hate Apple for that. But overall, this thing is great. I have sincerely enjoyed my entire time using this thing. Aside from the wireless charging issues, really, and the camera bump. But the cameras are beautiful. The front display fits perfectly in my hand and is a joy to use. I've had no issues with connection. I have no issues with battery life. The battery life is not great. It's obviously not going to be great. But it's not the worst I've had. It's by far not the best I've had. But it's not the worst I've had. And it's kind of expected with a device like this, so I'm not upset about it. Overall, this phone absolutely gets a thumbs up from me. This is an amazing iteration of a device that is just packed with innovation. This is truly, truly a solid future for phones or pocketable tablets. And I have great feelings about it and great expectations for the following iterations. Good job, Samsung. Seriously. Now, in my last video, promised you guys that I would do unboxings on the headphones and the watch. I didn't. I recorded those videos, and they came out terribly. Like, really bad. Unusable. Completely unusable. So, instead, I will be doing just regular reviews. I have been using them, so I will be doing regular reviews on those, and I'll release them in time. Tomorrow, out of schedule, I will release an unboxing on the Flip, and I will also be switching to it and using it as my primary device, and then following that up with a review so that we can talk about it and see if it's any better than the Fold. So look forward to that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to dislike if you disliked it. Don't forget to leave a comment. Please leave a comment. This is a controversial device. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, seriously. And have a good night, have a good week, and I'll see you guys in the next one.